Welcome back to iHeartRadio. So Bad It's Good. Today, we have somebody that I've wanted to speak to from the very first episode of this season of Summer House. If you guys have been listening to my recaps, she really is my favorite newcomer and has seamlessly joined this cast, which is a very, very tough cast to be a part of. But without missing a beat, she has done it. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about her cookies. Mya Allen, welcome to the show.
Well, what took you so long since you've been wanting to talk to me since day one?
Mya, I asked, and they
Have
said
my number.
they said you were so busy, but I'm so thankful to talk to you now. My first question is, how is your liver?
My liver is recovering.
On last night's episode, you were like, I'm starting to feel the effects of the weekends.
I feel like I aged at least like 3 or 4 years this summer, but yeah, no, the liver took a really good dry January and is building back its tolerance for the summer.
I feel like you need to, like, it's like a montage of training.
It's a sport. Yeah, for sure.
How many lover boys can you drink, you know?
For me, not even that many. Like, I can't hold that liquid. I'm like, how do you people do this?
The great part about the first couple of episodes is that you have this kind of thing of just you're observing the behavior of everybody. And I wondered, what was that like for you? Just even on I'm not good in new situations with anybody. What's that like to observe something and then to have cameras observe it as well?
You know, of course I watch reality TV. I said I deserve to get paid for it. That's how much I watch it. And never in my life could I have expected what I experienced, even with my like advanced knowledge of reality television. These people are psychotic. And it's unprovoked. That was the thing that I couldn't believe. Like, things can pop off literally in a matter of seconds, and there was so much history that I wasn't aware of. So a lot of it.
Did you go and watch any of the first seasons of Summer House or did they tell you don't do that?
No, yeah, and I'm happy I didn't, because I didn't want to make any judgments about people. I know people have changed. Like, I know Carl's like, if you had met me before, you would have felt very differently about me. So
very differently, Mya, very differently. Yeah. I'll
believe what people tell me and say that's true. But other than that, like, no, I didn't want any of that knowledge going into it.
That's great, and also potentially scary for you, as we see in those first couple of episodes. So you go into this, I mean, you said you loved reality shows, and that's why you even went into this in the first place. You got to get paid for it. But I mean, there's something else that you actually get in there and do it and mix it up with these people. When was the moment that you started feeling the most comfortable? Is it the conversation that we got to watch a couple of episodes ago, which I want to point out was one of the best conversations I've heard on Bravo up until this point, which is wild for it to be Summer House, for this conversation to take place.
But I know, surprise, it was Summer House. No one saw that coming.
But in like 5 minutes, you did something that 2 years, I mean, like, it was like this kind of beautiful conversation where you were so honest, and then people just listened.
Yeah, I can't appreciate my housemates enough for their response to that conversation. They gave us a space to talk and to let them know how we feel and about our experiences. And I think the fact that they just sat and listened speaks volumes to their character. And did I feel much more at home? Yeah, I was actually scared to go into the next week, because I was like, what are they going to think of me? Do I think I'm like pulling the race card? Do they think like I'm just like, I can't fit in, so I'm throwing a fit? So I was nervous. And
you had this beautiful line with Carl where you said, I'm going in with the highest of hopes, and I thought that was so, I keep saying that this week. I was like, I'm going into this with the highest. It was such a nice sentiment. But when you did, it did turn out, it was better, correct?
It was better. I think our parties became much, although it's hard to tell at the bondage party.
The bondage party?
Yeah, but even then I was like, in this weird party setting of this most extreme theme, I feel safe, and I feel like I have people that are in my corner that are making sure that, you know, we're checking in on each other. And that's all that it really was about.
And as an audience member, that vibe you can pick up on. And that's why I think we enjoy it, because it's not like this is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where people are potentially like there's a crime involved or something. These are friends partying, and we get to see this kind of just fly on the wall camera stuff where it's silliness, where you guys are dancing, but at the same time having these amazing conversations. Kyle said some really amazing stuff at that conversation. yet he has said nothing amazing about it. Like he's stumbled over his words so much at this last birthday party in his speech about the peanut gallery. And I was like, how do you go from this amazing thing with Mya to this horrible speech? What's that like for you to watch firsthand?
They're different categories. I mean, that's really all I can say. I still have conversations today with Kyle about that conversation, and he's continuously reflecting on it and talking to me about it. So even that in itself is very cool. I guess I put myself in the peanut gallery. So wasn't expecting that. I can say that was one of my favorite moments this season to watch back, just because it was kind of so outrageous. Like, I was all like, wait, what just happened? Like, if you could see us all looking at each other while it's happening, like, I'm trying to process it. I think you hear me say, like, I feel attacked, because I was like, this is geared at me. What's going on here? So, I mean, it's just like, it's a Kyle moment. It's a classic Kyle
That's what I'm saying. I root for Kyle so hard, and then it's
I'm
like
always rooting for him.
They'll have this amazing moment, and then they'll have this really not amazing moment. Also, I got to know, what's the sty look like in person? Was it intense?
The sty, honestly, like, you cannot ignore it. It was our 12th housemate. It definitely had its own personality. Like, we knew when the sty was there, we knew when it wasn't. So
the sty was watching even when Kyle wasn't.
I think the sty didn't do that the rest of the housemates did, is drink. Well, Sty and Carl, they were in the sober section, and the rest of us were consuming lots of alcohol.
You talk about even the bondage party. You said I'm glad I actually didn't meet somebody at the bondage party. Well, like, I'm glad that I actually, but there is this, will she or will she not? Will we see you be dating this season? Will we see, because we saw a couple parties now where you've been tentative, and you've actually facilitated Sierra and Carl kissing with the blindfold. Will we see you potentially dating or flirting or anything at all this season?
I mean, you just have to watch and see.
No, tell me, please. I need to know.
Who wants a spoiler, do they?
Please, can you please say you'd never hooked up with Austin, please?
I never have, nor will I ever hook up with Austin.
Well, yes.
100% certainty.
You actually have been like one of the best housemates in terms of being there for your girlfriends. Paige, you were there immediately with this Craig situation that we're seeing play out, and I know they are together now, and everybody really likes them as a couple. But what we're seeing is the beginning of that and kind of the confusion of that. And I love how you and Sierra are literally on each of side of, like, F him, screw that. No, he's gaslighting you within an inch of his life. Are you like that with all of your friends?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Especially if I see it, like, I knew in that moment it was so overwhelming, and there was truly so much going on, that knowing how she cared for Craig, she wasn't going to see it clearly. And I just was like, let's just, like, table this, pause this. There's too much emotion. He's gaslighting you. Like, let it rest, sleep on it. Let's do this in the morning.
I know. And then I was furious when he was there at the house, and then she ran to us. She's like, you're right, he is gaslighting me. And then she runs to his room, and I was like, no. I think they needed clarity, and that they were only going to get it from speaking to each other in a calmer manner than the way he first came at her. We did think earlier, like a couple of episodes ago, Carl was sitting in your room, and you had talked about how comfortable you are with him. And I don't mean to make every relationship a will they or won't they, but there was this really nice camaraderie you guys did have. And then we saw him kiss Sierra, which you facilitated. Was there ever a crush on Carl in those beginnings? And are you encouraged to have crushes on the cast?
I think it's encouraged.
Interesting. Wow.
That's so weird, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's encouraged. And I think I felt as though there was somewhat of an expectation that there would be, like, some connection there. But the minute I met Carl, we hit it off so quickly, and it was very, very friendly. And I was just happy to have someone in the house that I could speak to that seemed a little bit more level-headed. And so it didn't ever feel romantic for me.
Okay. Now, I had Luke Goldbrinson on the show a couple weeks ago, and I do have to ask this, unfortunately, is he kind of, I don't know, we saw you guys, I believe, at Watch What Happens Live, sitting next to each other, and it was like, woo. And then Luke, I asked him point blank, And he tried, he was like, yeah, Maya's a very special person. I really like, and he kind of like, I mean, what is there? I guess this is something you can't answer. Well, what's your
No,
opinion of Luke?
I can answer this.
Okay, okay.
There's nothing going on with Luke.
No, okay. Was there ever something going on with Luke?
No.
Would Luke want there to be something going on?
Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for him, so I won't. But that those lines have not been crossed, or even a gesture of no dates or anything of the sort.
Okay, at this point. But there's always next summer. There's always the summer after that, potentially.
I have a really good relationship with Luke. I do speak to him, I would say, weekly. We live very close to each other, so it's cool to hang out with him. It just has been friendly.
Do you ever tell him to not wear the big hat around you? No. So it gets bigger each week. The hat gets bigger and bigger each week.
I saw online, it was like, Luke has never met a hat that he didn't like. And I was like, hey, that's it.
And he's a model, so nobody's going to tell him he looks bad in the hat. You know,
no, I'm not touching that. He probably has. Well, he does have. Everyone in that house has a better fashion sense than me. So.
Oh, you look amazing. The bondage party, you killed it. Are you kidding? Speaking of the bondage party, Andrea, we had a couple weeks ago where he had said he's like, oh, that's an old girlfriend of mine. No, you know. And now he's bringing you coffee. I noticed. Now he's carrying luggage. He's bringing coffee. Has your relationship with Andrea changed? Do we get to see that over the season? It felt like this last week's episode, you guys were best buds.
Yeah, I think that it only changed for the better. His overall awareness of the microaggressions that he truly wasn't aware of. He took that in stride and he responded. So I think Andre is a great guy. He always was ready to help the girls with our luggage upstairs, or like very much the gentleman of the house. And I just wanted him to be a gentleman with me too. And now he is. That's it.
We also, you talk a lot about, and I think this is actually a very important issue as well, is that you would come off a 5-year engagement, I believe. And, I've been divorced, and I think that's a very important thing. And you had this really beautiful but you were telling Paige of like, I've been there, I've been in this position, and that I am happy now. I am a complete person, because I know that feeling of really hopelessness when you get out of a relationship. What was that experience like of such heartache and then rebuilding again for you?
I mean, I don't even know if I can put into words. It's truly I had to re-identify myself in a way. I was so comfortable and used to one dynamic in my life that was now shifting, and it was tough, but again, I'm here. I did it. I'm okay. Like I'm happy. So I think it's really scary knowing or even anticipating a breakup, what you're going to do next. Like, how is this going to look? What is my life going to be? Am I just going to be lonely and sad the whole time? And it doesn't have to be this, it's hard, and it will be hard. It will be sad, but it doesn't have to be necessarily like a sad story. It could be like a moment of rebirth. And I wasn't encouraging necessarily a split of their relationship.
Oh no. And I'm not saying that. You made that very clear. All the girls did.
Yeah, but I think it's a good perspective to have, because sometimes in relationships you just can't even see that far ahead.
Yeah.
Possibility. Yeah.
My friend always like, you'll only feel this low at one point in your life, and then your heart gets used to the hurt, and it kind of like calluses over.
It like numbs a little bit.
You're like, I remember this feeling, and I remember this. I'll get over that. Yeah. But I think that's such an important thing. That's why I love shows like this, is that they'll always have this kind of element of truth which you bring to it, and you speak about identity, not just in regards to your race, but just in like, I'm Maya. My ex, I was always kind of known as somebody that was working with my ex or something like that. Has this show really helped you solidify not just your identity, but also to show you how immediately loved you are on this show? Like, I've heard nothing but positivity from this really, really fan base that gets intense.
I'm actually I'm so surprised. I always say when I meet people that I'm a required taste, and it takes me a minute to really know. No, but I am like, I'm a victim of my tone. I come off like very harsh in some ways when I'm not even meaning to. And I'm aware, I'm self-aware, but I also don't know how to change up that tone. So I was like, these people are going to think that I'm just this like crazy, angry bitch. And the fact that people are like, I see myself in you, or like I feel seen because I'm awkward too, or like I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I think it's really cool for reality TV to see somebody like me.
I
I'm
mean,
not I'm
I,
not everybody else on reality TV. And now there's just like one more person for people to relate to.
no, like I loved it. I loved you talking about like, cleaning a kitchen. It brings you peace. It's meditation. It's like, but we also know you have a cookie company, The Need, which I'll put all the information you guys on the description. But I want to eat all of your cookies. Where do we start? Like, like, are you really, does this bring you, it's like spreading love, I read, is what your business does. How did you discover that this was something that you love? Was this from your father?
I've always been in the kitchen in some capacity. Generally, it's been baking. So when I was younger, I had a pound cake shop, if you will. And it's funny, I got my KitchenAid at 3rd grade. Open the KitchenAid book. First recipe is pound cake. I was like, I'll try this. Made it. I was like, this is pretty good. Let me sell this. And it wasn't even my recipe. And I was 10. But I was making money because my parents were covering 100% of the cost. So I was making 100% profit, and that felt really good. So I was like, hey, I think there's something to this. And then the pandemic hit, and our industry, the restaurant industry, was hit really hard. And I felt a moment of hopelessness. Like, what am I going to do with my career? I don't even know how the food and beverage industry will look even in a few months. So I was bored and looking for things to spend my time doing. And I started actually sending postcards that I would like draw myself. I went to school originally for art. And then I was like, no one wants a postcard like this. Like this, they don't care that I'm checking in on them. Like they want something that they can hold and enjoy.
Yeah.
So I started sending out cookies, and then people would be like, hey, can you send my friend cookies for her birthday, and this, that, and the other. And it just took off.
We really saw Luke's first taste of the cookies, and he was like, I need one of each. I would like one of each of these cookies. I mean, did it start to bother you that you were getting used for cookies at a certain point?
No, I never felt like I was getting used. I think I made sure I had dough of some sort every weekend just so that they would be there. Especially after Alex tried to make those like break and bake cookies. I was like, first off, leave it to me, Alex. So I had to make sure at that point that any frozen cookies were mine and not Toll House.
That's what I want. Oh my God. If everybody goes back to the summer house again, you need to like, just make sure you try to make Alex gain 50 pounds, like just not a muscle, just keep feeding them cookies. That would be amazing.
I don't think that that's going to happen. He did eat the cookies though.
And he made me so mad this week when he was like, I lost 5 pounds. We barely eat at the house. I was like, I gained 5 pounds just by doing a podcast.
I gained 5 pounds by drinking like one lover boy there. So good for him. It just didn't work out for me that way.
As we start winding down, because I know you are very busy, do we need to worry about you? Are you going to let this get to your head? Are you going to become too popular? I sometimes worry about these shows when people are instantly liked. Are you going to be a villain at some point? You're going to let this get to your head?
I don't plan on it. I don't think that I'll be seen as a villain. What I can say is that I was true to myself this whole summer, and take it or leave it. That's all I can do. I am who I am. If that's a villain to you, then yes, I am a villain. But
I mean like
to anyone. But I don't.
3 seasons from now, are you going to be like, I'm too cool for school?
No, that wasn't the reason for doing it. I wanted to do something weird and once in a lifetime, and something that I'll be on my deathbed being like, wow, that was pretty fucking cool that I did that. And that's it. I did it for myself. So it's not meant to be that way. I've made great friends. I plan on keeping those friendships. And
seem like you guys really like each other, or like it's really starting to be actually real friendships here. Would you consider doing this again if the opportunity arises? I
think so. I think originally I was like, I'm a one and done, but
you thought that at one point?
Yeah, I did. But I care for these people now. So it's different. It feels a lot less like work and more like, hey, I'm actually hanging out with my friends at a house that we trash every weekend. So yeah, I think I would love to hang out with them again this summer. Like I I miss so much about the summer. I used to hang out with Kyle at 3 a.m. talking about nonsense. Like I miss those moments.
Why
And
can't they let us pay extra to get the unedited footage of those conversations?
I think it'd be so cool if we were allowed to edit one episode, because the
Oh
things
my
that
God.
we would show would
The
just
Mya episode. That would be so cool.
like, I know what I would focus on, and it's pretty much nothing that we've seen thus far.
Wait, what would you focus on?
I mean, we just have so much fun. We really did. I know it looks like all we do is fight and like drink and party, but we also had a lot of fun times, and there's so many moments that we look back on and laugh at. And I just feel like I want everyone to laugh with us. Like, I want everyone to experience that fun.
Well, I got to tell you, you guys, I look forward to every Monday, and you really are, to me, a breakout star. I really appreciate you taking the time today. You guys, you've got to go support Mya Allen, her cookie company, her Instagram, all of this stuff. We've got to follow her and support her, because just like Carl this season, I just love people that are, like you said, true to yourself, but seem like they're constantly doing the right thing and learning from any mistakes that they make. And it is so refreshing to see, because there's not a lot of people like you out there that do the right thing. So really appreciate you taking your time with us today, and I can't wait to see you next Monday.
It's been fun. And tune in next Monday. Maybe you'll see me flirting. Who knows?
Okay, that's it. You're flirting.